What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Just Thoughts podcast. I'm your host, Gabe here, alongside my buddy Kole Graham. Cole, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing great. We apologize for missing last Monday's episode, but we are back, and we dressed up to make it up to you guys.
We did. I know. We're looking spiffy.
Yeah.
But I think last week, while we missed it, is a good reason, and it kind of goes into today's topic. Cole, if you want to introduce today's topic.
Yeah. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about health, and we know health is a very touchy subject for some people because why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
And for me too, because I know I'm not the healthiest person that I could possibly be. I know I could be healthier. And that's part of the reason why we missed last Monday's episode, because I had a stomach bug. Very common and very unfortunate, I must say. But yeah, that's part of the reason why we want to talk about it today, because health is something that a lot of us take for granted. I know I do too, because right now I'm back, I'm healthy, we're going to a Christmas party after this, and now I'm trying to be more in tune with my body and appreciate the fact that I'm healthy right now.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to bring it down. Bring it down.
Bring it down now, y'all.
Yeah, and I think you're right. That's a really good segue, because I think most people do take their health for granted because they're like, oh, I'm going to be healthy forever. And then they do get, the stomach bug like you did. And it really sucks. I mean, from firsthand, you had it last week. I mean, how did you feel?
I felt like I wanted to die.
Yeah.
To just put it lightly. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not fun. And the biggest thing about health is that there's always ways to be better. I mean, you look at Rob Lowe, you look at other celebrities, I can't name any others, but like you look at celebrities that are in shape, they're working out every single day. The Rock, there's one. Chris Evans, like the people that are doing like superhero movies, they work out, they eat one rice grain every week so that way they can lose weight. It's like, yeah, you look at them, they look like they're healthy, but they're not, like, because they're doing things that are unhealthy to reach that physical appearance. Yeah. And physical appearance isn't everything. I mean, I should know. So it's one of those things where health is something that we should all take seriously, and I'm trying to do that more so now, especially after what I just went through.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where if you're not conscious about it, your health will slide. And everyone says this all the time, but our health is like the biggest thing that we can control, because what's what you eat, it's what you do, and you don't have to do a whole lot to keep it in check.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's really, really true. And I think that's why most people don't understand that, like, your diet is a huge part of your well-being, because people are like, oh, I can just go to the gym for 2.5 hours and then burn off all these calories, but then I can go to Cane's like we do, or Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out, and eat 2,000 calories, and like, oh, it's going to even out. But it doesn't even out, because you doing all that work in the gym and then going to get a Caniac combo, those two just kind of, they don't even themselves out. Like, one is obviously going to be more detrimental, obviously the fast food, than going to the gym and working out and that type of stuff. And so it's kind of interesting that I see a lot of people in the gym where I work, and actually where I go to work out, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm lifting these weights. And I'm like, oh yeah, but then how's your diet? And they're like, oh, I eat In-N-Out like 4 times a week. I'm like, what? That's crazy. Like, how are you're doing something right, but then you're doing the main thing that is going to be 90% of how your body changes completely wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, because the biggest thing that we've talked about multiple times, I think we've even said it on the podcast, is everyone takes it so extreme. And I try to do that too. Like, if I am starting a diet, I cannot let myself have Cane's. I cannot let myself have Chipotle, because I know if I have it one time, then I'm going to slide backwards and I'm going to go back into the same routine I normally do. But that's not the case, because if you pair constant working out or just exercise, doesn't have to be lifting 100-pound weights, or in your case, what is it, 500 pounds now?
Yeah, 500 pounds.
Yeah, insane, guys, by the way. You don't have to do that and then also cut out every meal that you love. You just have to scale back. Or if you go to Chick-fil-A, get something healthier. Or instead of getting 8 nuggets, get 4.
Right.
And it seems like, oh, but I'm still eating like crap, or I'm still eating this terrible food. Well, you're not eating as much, you're not eating it as often, and little steps like that is what I'm trying to take in order to take over my health and be healthier.
Yeah, it's all about moderation. Like, you can't be going on one side to the extreme. Like you were saying, like, you go 100% healthy for whatever it is, however, like a week or 5 days, and you're just doing no junk food, no sugar, no nothing. But then that can get pretty boring, obviously, like because you're just eating fruits and veggies and protein. And I think it's always good to have a little bit of a sweet treat here. You know, you get some ice cream, you get some yogurt land, you get whatever it is, some Halloween candy. That's always good. But again, you don't want to indulge too much where you're like, oh, I'm going to eat a whole bag of Halloween candy, or I'm going to eat like 2 huge cups of yogurt land ice cream. That type of stuff, I think, is where people get lost. I think that's really smart on your part by you're trying to do it little by little. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm going to completely eliminate junk food. It's like, okay, I'm going to scale it back. So instead of getting a caniac, for you guys don't know, which is 6 chicken tenders, is now it's like a box combo, which is 4 chicken tenders. So just from that, you've eliminated like 2 tenders, which I don't know, it's probably like a couple hundred calories. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
too
know
sure either.
the math on that one, but like just from that, you're already going in the right direction, right? Because you are slowly cutting down, but you're not going cold turkey where it's just like, I'm never eating another fast food restaurant again type thing, right?
Yeah, and that's typically what has led to me failing my diets in the past. And obviously this whole episode isn't just dieting, because failing diets leads to other unnecessary health issues, because it could lead to diabetes if you eat too much. It could lead to colon issues, or it could lead to
Heart issues.
Yeah,
that's a big one. That's a big, heart issues. Yeah.
It could lead to so many other issues that your health is like, it can change like that. Whether it's from eating, whether it's from absolutely nothing. I mean, I've lost my appendix, or I didn't lose my appendix.
Where'd it
I know
go?
where it went. Yeah, I had to have my appendix removed, and that was just a freak thing. And that really took it out of me. And I mean, I was in the hospital for days. I was slowed down for baseball. I was slowed down for my training for cross country back when I was in cross country. And it really makes you think of all the people that are going through hard times, and all the people that are dealing with things that hopefully no one ever will. And you think of how lucky you are to be in the place that you are, to be able to control your health, to be able to control your diet, and to be able to go out and do things that you want to do, because there's a lot of people that can't. And that's just really unfortunate.
Yeah. I think that's a really good thing to bring up, because I think sometimes in life we see people like The Rock, you know, all these celebrities who are like, wow, these guys are super jacked. They must have the best lives. They're, you know, 100 millionaires. They have these beautiful houses. They must have nothing wrong. But sometimes people do have not huge illnesses with their health, but maybe small things, like maybe they've been dealing with a muscle that hurts, or something isn't feeling right. And it may not show on their face or on their body, but they've been dealing with it. And I think a lot of people tend to think like, oh, you're supposed to be in perfect health all the time. I think that's not true. Like it's okay if there's something going on, and it's how you deal with it. That's what makes a difference. Like for me, example, like I've been dealing with a lot of ear issues these past couple of months, like probably since late October. I mean, it just feels like maybe it's just allergies or something going on, but you know, from time to time, it feels like my ears are super closed. Like it feels like, you know, you're talking and it feels like you're, you know, when you have like 2 cups. Does that make sense? Like you have 2 cups. Yeah. So that's what it feels like. And it's gotten better over time, and it's, you know, slowly going away. I don't know when it will go away, but that taught me that it's okay. Like life is going to move on, but I still have the ability, as you were saying, to go to the gym, eat healthy, take my vitamins, you know, go out to Christmas parties and do these things. And it's like, yes, it's obviously not a huge health issue. Maybe it's a little bit annoying. Obviously, everybody wants to hear perfectly, but not that I'm saying I can't hear. But for most people, it's like living with those little things is doable, because there are people out there that you're saying that have, you know, serious issues. Like maybe they're handicapped, maybe they're blind, maybe they actually are fully deaf in one ear or in both ears. And we take that for granted because we're like, oh, this is just bothering me for whatever, 3 or 4 months. And it's like, but we also have the ability to change those things. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's kind of crazy when you think about it that way, because, you know, if you're someone who is dealing with, you know, a quadriplegic, or, you know, someone that is just dealing with in a wheelchair, I mean, they don't have the ability to go to the gym. They might be able to, but not by themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think it's a great thing that you mentioned that there's people fighting health issues that you don't even know about. I mean, like your ear thing. I didn't know about that until you told me. And
There you go.
I mean, how else was I supposed to know? Because I can't tell you if you can hear or not.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if I'm dealing with things. I could be dealing with things right now and no one would know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Most people probably are. And that's why we've talked about in our other episodes, take life less serious.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no need to treat people poorly or make fun of someone or do anything negative, because you never know what's going on in their life. Same thing with their health. I mean, mental health too. That's a big issue. No one knows what's going on in someone else's life. And taking control of your health is a great thing that you can do, because like you mentioned, if someone's in a wheelchair, like, yes, they can't go out to the gym. They can't go out and go for a run, which that's such a bummer. But I mean, they can still participate in board games, or they can participate in card games with the family, or do things that matter. And I feel like that's a big issue with a lot of people, especially me, because when I get sick, I lay in bed and I just want to die. I'm like, you know what? It's kind of like I feel like crap. I don't feel good at all. And there's no better way to get over this than I'm just going to lay here and rot. And that's really a negative way to look at it, because yes, when you're sick, it sucks. It's boring. You can't do anything, but you're still breathing. You're still here. And in a few days, you'll be over it and you'll be good as new. So take that time when you're sick to say, you know what? Look, it could be much worse. There's people dealing with much worse.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm lucky to just have it be a very easy thing. It's very common. It's treatable. It's something I can deal with. And I've been trying to look at my sicknesses like that more recently now, because I've had a crazy year myself, my parents, my sister, my grandma, everybody, my whole family. We've been dealing with things with our health, and we've all overcome it, and we're all stronger because of it. And that's made me look back and think, you know what? We are all still lucky. We're all still here. Our health does not just define the way we live.
Yeah. You know what? Speaking of your family, I want to give your sister, my girlfriend, Jenna, a shout out, because she is the one that taught me that an illness or sickness or whatever it is a season. What I mean by a season is that it comes and then it goes. But the biggest thing is you don't know when it goes, right? Like it could be for 3 days, or it could be for 3 months. It could be for, 3 weeks. It could be for 3 years. Who knows? But at some point, it will go away. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've realized. And I'm a very impatient person. I like things done like yesterday, right?
So am I.
And I think going through, especially with this ear thing, with both ears or just one ear, whatever it is, like, I've been going to the doctor and be like, hey, I want this, give me this medication. Hopefully it'll fix it. And I take the medication and it works for a little bit, but then it comes back. I'm like, oh man, I got to go back to the doctor. But it's like, you got to realize that it's a season. It's going to take time. This medicine may work for a little bit, but maybe it just has, it has to take its toll. And I think that's the biggest thing with people our age, the Gen Z people, they want things now. Amazon, I can get a package delivered here by tomorrow if I really wanted to. And I think that's something that we don't think about with our health, is like, it takes time. It's not going to be tomorrow where you wake up and you feel 110%. You could feel better, it might not be as bad as it was the day before, but it's still going to take time for you to recover. And nobody knows that timeline except, a higher power, universe, whoever it is. Like, and in the meantime, you're saying it's like, you should be grateful for like, yes, I know this time is tough and it sucks, but it's not going to last forever. It just in this moment, it's terrible. And it, you feel like you just want to lay in bed and not do anything. But, come 3-4 months, whatever it is, 3-4 weeks, you could be in a whole different place.
And you might not even remember you were sick.
Exactly. You're like, and you could also think about it and be like, oh man, like, remember when this happened, or I had the stomach bug and I, couldn't go play baseball or whatever, or when my ears were so clogged I couldn't hear music, like those type of things. You're like, oh man, it sucked, but it was not a cool memory, but just something you can think about, right? And I think that's a big thing, is like, it's not a quick fix, right? It's not like, a car where you can go get it fixed immediately. It's like, it takes time. It takes time, guys. It takes time.
Yeah, and you're right. It does take time. That is like one of the biggest takeaways, if anything, for you guys. It takes time to be better, and it takes effort too. I mean, if we're going to move into like mental health, because obviously like your ear thing, that's more physical. My stomach issues, that's definitely a physical
it's
thing.
physical.
And if we were to move into like the mental side of health, it's going to take your effort to get better. You're not going to miraculously get over the things that you're constantly thinking about that keep you up at night. And I myself have issues like that. I mean, I'm guaranteeing everyone does.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you just have to find ways to deal with it. And maybe you're not going to fully get over it. Maybe you're not going to fully be calm at night or fully have a plain slate in your head at all times. Like I have absolutely no thoughts going on at all times. We are human.
Yeah.
We are not robots. We are not meant to have just
I think it's physically
absolutely
impossible.
nothing going on in our heads.
Yeah.
And if you want to have some peace, maybe seek therapy, maybe seek talking to a friend, to a family member, to someone who's been there before, or someone who's dealing with the same things, because we're not going to get into what Gabe and I have talked about. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've come to Gabe and said, hey, like I've been thinking about some things that I shouldn't be, or I shouldn't have to deal with this at all times, or I shouldn't have this recurring thought because it's just annoying. It's something that is an issue. And it's like, I just need to get rid of it because it's not healthy to keep thinking that. It's not going to do me or anyone else any good if I just keep thinking this and going about life thinking, I'm fine. Let's just put it to the back of the head because it's going to come back out.
Oh, 100%.
So talking to someone is a big key in getting better, and seek out somebody. If I were to leave you guys with one more thing.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing to tell people is like talking to somebody about what's going on up here is super important, because I think there's a huge difference between physical and mental health. And obviously with physical health, if you break a bone, you go to the doctor, you get a cast put on, it gets better in, 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it is. You tear your ACL, you have to get surgery on it, it gets fixed, you do physical therapy and all that type of stuff. And then it's an actual physical thing you can see change. But with mental health, it's all up in your head. It's all up in your mind. And I think that's what is scary for some people, is that it's not an actual physical thing you can see. It's all mental. It's all like about your thoughts and how you feel and how you are communicating your thoughts. And I think that's a huge thing that I learned from my parents, is that if you don't speak your truth, or you speak how you're actually genuinely feeling, then it's not good. Because the more you hold things in, like feelings and emotions and all these type of things, the worse it's going to be for you in the long term. And I think, mental health is a huge thing that many people, not that they're not focusing on it, but I think we should be focusing on it just as much as we focus on the physical health. Because if you aren't feeling well in your head, then how are you expected to go to class, go to your work, go to the gym, eat healthy, go on vacation, go to parties, hang out with friends? Like, if you're not feeling up to the task in your head, then it all goes out the window. That's what I've always believed, is like, especially as a gym goer, you can lift 600 pounds, 700 pounds, whatever it is. But if you're not good in the head, if you're not thinking about how can I get better mentally, then it all doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't really mean, I mean, of course it's good that you're going to the gym, but if what up here and what I believe to be is the most powerful thing, that you have doesn't physically work with you, oh man, it's all out the window. You know what I'm saying? It's all out the window. And most people don't want to work on their mental health, which is, that's on them. That's not on us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And as someone who has constantly tried to hide those thoughts in the back of my head, I would like to say to everybody before Gabe wraps this episode up, you are strong enough to get through it. I don't know what you're dealing with. I don't even know who I'm talking to right now, actually, but you are strong enough to deal with it. You are strong enough to overcome your sickness, your illness, your issues that you have with your mental health. If you aren't the one who is physically sick and you're taking care of someone who is sick, or you're taking care of someone who has issues or is dealing with something, you are strong enough to help them. You are strong enough to be there. You are strong enough to overcome it. You're strong enough to do it with a smile on your face and come out on the other side feeling better than you did before. And that's about all I got, because I think that a lot of people need to hear that. And I think it's very important that people know that. It's very important for them to know that when they get sick, when they're taking care of someone who's sick, because a lot of times we lose sight of what's really important. And that's getting back to being healthy and being happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it's a great note to leave it on. And with that being said, I think we can wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys could do us a really big favor and follow us on our Instagram and all of our socials at Just Thoughts Pod. That's at Just Thoughts POD. Also, we are on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe, give us a like, give us some comments in the comment section below. And wherever you listen to this podcast, whether it's on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to follow, subscribe, and leave us a review. And we'll see you guys later.
See you guys.